Jason, he asked me this morning, which would I rather fight? A horse-sized duck or a, what was it?
100
duck-sized horses.
Yes.
And I said I'd take the horse-sized duck.
The one. You don't want zombies. You just want to focus on one thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, those little 100 beaks, they could just get you.
You know, they have the little pokey things in the bills.
Oh,
have you seen those?
Yeah.
The duck teeth are freaky.
Yeah.
People, what's that phobia where it's like, I don't like the teeth? Have you seen that one?
I don't know, but you know that you never show your teeth to a chimpanzee. Never smile. Like, people will go like this to a chimpanzee, they'll be like, so cute.
Yeah.
It's aggression. Showing your teeth is aggression.
Why do humans smile then?
I don't know. We need to get, hey, this is why we have a podcast. We could ask these questions, especially on TCast or other podcasts where we ask scientific questions.
It's odontophobia. That's probably what the chimp has.
Odontophobia. Yeah.
Yeah. He doesn't like, he's got a phobia
Well, I
of
mean,
teeth.
that's what they do. They show their teeth when they're pissed off.
Yeah.
Yeah. I heard with wolves, it's the same way. And tigers.
Wolves, that's how they greet each other.
Yeah.
They lick each other's teeth.
Yeah.
You seen that guy that does that?
What if we humans did that? That'd be so funny. Just licking each other's teeth.
Could you imagine?
Hey,
our
what's
immune
up, Bill?
Bill, did you just have a T-bone?
Yeah, so delicious. So great. Hold
Bill,
on.
you got a little plaque back there.
On.
Let me help you out.
Oh, Chipotle.
Yeah. $8.99? Oh, you got a deal.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's funny. Okay.
You're a Catholic?
Let's talk about these duck-sized aliens.
Oh, duck-sized alien. Wait, what?
That's what they are. Yeah, because the craft fit a human in it pretty good. How many could you fit in there? You had theater seatings?
4 humans under 6 foot something.
Yeah, so it would just be 2 of us. Because I'm over 6 feet and you're hot.
No, I'd have to lay on the ground.
Yeah.
I'd have to literally lay. I bring a sleeping bag.
Yeah.
And you can sit there and lounge.
Yeah.
Would they be okay with the fact that you started smoking a cigar in their craft?
I'd be like, where are we going?
With the limited oxygen.
Yeah. I'd be like, 1, where are we going? Number 2, can your accumulator keep up?
Can your filtration system keep up with my cigar smoke?
And then because this seems like amazing and I need to light one up.
You guys happened to pick me up when I was in my smoking jacket.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Oh, I happen to have one right here.
Oh, is this how all humans dress?
Yeah, don't base all of humanity's species off of me. You're going down the wrong road. We failed.
I'm crying.
Oh, that's fun. Well, at least it's
Rich.
We have to stay in our narrow bandwidth, right?
Stop.
Okay.
Okay.
So I want to get into, we kind of ended the last one pretty dramatic because Alan said that, we're all basically going to die. That's what he said, yeah. And that civilization is done if we don't fix these problems spiritually. So then you're kind of thinking, I don't think we're going to get these things spiritual. But he says this, which is really cool. On page 84 of the White Sands Incident by Dr. Daniel
W. Fry, 1949, White Sands, New Mexico.
He says, this is an immutable law of the universe, which operates according to the free choice of the race.
Okay, so he's talking about the law of free will. Where else, Jason, have we seen this law creep up? That's right. Rudolf Steiner, Law of One.
Yes.
Plejaren spirit teachings.
Just over and over and over again. This
just hammers you back and back and forth.
I love the word immutable. I think I think we should
what happens when you mute a TV?
Yeah, but this it's like such definite. That's such a
not
definite.
Subject or susceptible to change.
Yeah.
Unchangeable, unalterable, cannot be mutated, not capable. It is just like that is it, and there's nothing else to it.
Because most of evolution, when you think about it, most of evolution is all about mutations.
Yes.
That's how we survive.
So isn't it funny that we have a law that's immutable that then allows us to mutate?
Well, you
have to have immutables.
Yes, you have to.
So that you can have mutable.
And we've gone through the creational laws. Those immutable laws, if you want to call them that. I kind of like that. It's a cool word. Free choice of the race. People are like, the race. He's talking about humans.
Human race, not white men.
Yeah, exactly.
Only white men have free choice.
And he says it this way. Your race and your culture, however, are not doomed to extinction. They may continue upon their upward course until they have left this danger behind them forever. The choice you see is yours.
Doomed. Inevitable destruction or ruin. So, are we condemned to that? No. But the thing is, we need to make a choice as a collective race, and in order for us to do this as a collective, that means we have to come together and understand one another. It can't just be the choice of one country. It's got to be the choice of all. It's a very different thing. That takes a lot of evolution to get everyone to come together and say, this is what we're going to do.
Yeah, and this is where I think we can see, if you want to use the word hope, we can see hope. He says this, as I said before, our ancestors were a group of survivors of the last complete collapse of civilization on your planet. So he's talking about Earth, a collapse that happened before, and then the survivors.
Was that Hillary Clinton's first campaign?
Yes. Oh, that was a great one, bro. This is more than 30,000 years ago as you measure time today. But even then, they had developed a material science, which was, in some respect, at least considerably advanced over your present position. So I want to stop there. That site that's in Turkey, I'm trying to think of the
Noah's Ark site?
No, not the Noah's Ark site. The big archaeological site where they found it to be.
Hagia Sophia?
Maybe that's it. They have in the blocks of solid granite. They have the
Göbekli Tepe.
Yes,
I don't know if that's
it. That's it. It's something like that.
Göbekli Tepe.
But they have those sculptures and stuff. How long ago was that? What are they assuming that was? Was that only 12,000 years ago?
Hey, it was Turkey. 9,000 BCE. 11,000 years ago.
Yeah, 11,000 years ago.
I'm like math.
So these people were 30,000 years ago. We had an advanced civilization because they're still trying to figure stuff out that they didn't think we were that advanced. Which is interesting in that they found, even though they're saying that they didn't have agriculture then.
Yeah.
They found psychedelics in the remnants of cups and beer. So they were making, they were drinking.
The thing that pervades throughout history is drugs and alcohol.
But what's interesting is the art that they created there, especially the stones, to be able to take a big chunk of block of stone and then to be able to make, they took.
How do you etch like that?
Yes,
it's amazing,
exactly.
Right? They have the predatory animal in high relief catching a prey in low relief. And high relief means that it's not like an etch onto the stone. It's literally a chunk above the stone, but still a piece of it. It's actually quite incredible.
Yeah, so Elon is saying that 30,000 years ago, their survivor civilization had more technology that was more advanced than what was in 1960s.
Yeah.
Or this was 70s then?
No, right here, this is 1964.
Yeah, so then 1964. He said then your present position.
Mm-hmm.
And this is beautiful. Listen to this. They followed the natural laws instead of pitting one against the other as your science does.
Wow.
He just that right there is the greatest statement for scientists ever to read.
If we want to have the biggest jump in scientific technology,
they need to read this.
Follow the natural laws. Don't pit them against one another. How many times do we do that? We do it all the time.
And they said, listen to this. This is so great.
I know, this is gold.
Dude, this is gold right here. Their devices, therefore, were much simpler.
Yeah, you want to know why? Because creational laws are completely simple.
Yet, they could accomplish things which you so far have been unable to do. Don't you love that?
So you and all your complication and lack of respect for creation means you overcomplicate, cannot achieve.
Yes.
And the people that have come before you collapsed and disappeared were of a far higher and greater achievement than you wish to achieve now because your lack of understanding of spirit.
Well, he's giving us this great example of this civilization 30,000 years ago.
Framework, dude.
Yeah, and
it's
he says
framework.
They too. He's talking about those survivors.
Is that double O?
They too.
Double M, double T, double E.
Double M, double I, double T, double E. They too failed to realize the absolute necessity of an equal development of the spiritual and social values.
So
they're doing the same thing we're doing.
Yeah, so they're like, okay, actually they were better at doing what we did. They took the creational laws, applied it only to science. Used absolutely none of it for their own personal development. And what happens?
A political and social cleft developed.
Like a lip.
Yeah, developed between the two principal nations of that era. Friction between the two increased yearly.
I like how they use the word friction.
Until at last it exploded into a war of annihilation.
You know what they call a cleft? A space or an opening made as if by splitting, a fissure. What happens with fissure?
Yeah, so when you
get like heat and friction, and it's just splitting this thing apart.
Weapons of absolute energy were used by each nation against the other.
What the hell is absolute energy? That's it. I don't know. Yeah. I fundamentally have no idea.
I know there's stories of, and I don't know if this is this time frame or whatever, but I know there's stories of Atlantis and who were they? The Lemurians. Yeah, and they were fighting each other, and they used nuclear weapons.
Yeah, you had Mu, and was that Lemuria? Yeah,
but
Mu is Lemuria, and then Atlantis.
But they can go down. I mean, I don't know if they've gone down 30,000 feet, but I know they've gone down and they've seen glass that's like nuclear explosions.
Yeah, I know.
They found that.
You know, I guess they had super nukes. Isn't it funny that you have 2 islands and that's all it took to destroy the world? 2 islands. And isn't it interesting that on 2 islands was all of civilization? They left the rest of the world just to do as it did. And they sat on 2 islands, and that was the total civilization of Earth.
Well, I think...
Tell me.
Because I was thinking about this, the absolute energy. So we're always trying to harness something, grab it, take it, and then I mean, you explained in the last one, nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then rip it in half and tear it.
Like
absolute energy. If you could funnel the energy into something, and then be able to have it complete in its complete form, and then be able to tear it apart.
I know what it is. It's a micro Big Bang.
Yeah,
I get it. I see it now. Yeah, what's absolute energy? Well, the absolute absolutum, judging by the Playaran, is creational primal energy itself. It's the totality. And absolute absolutum goes through a cycle of 10 to the negative 49th. So those are the stages of creation's development. So if you look at an absolute energy weapon, it would have to be something that is of the same power, not size, but power as the Big Bang.
Yeah, and he said this. He said, because this will explain it.
What?
He said the destructive power was 1,000 times greater than the hydrogen bomb, which threatens your race today.
Oh, okay. All right, here we go.
So how powerful was the hydrogen bomb?
Hydrogen bomb power. Second generation nuclear bomb. Come on. To TNT. Okay. All right, you ready?
Yep.
So, the ton of TNT unit defined by convention to be 4,184 gigajoules, approximately released by the detonation of a metric ton of TNT. All right, so it's called TNT equivalent, is what they use for atomic bombs. The hydrogen bomb, holy shite, has the power of 15 million tons of TNT.
Holy shit.
The hydrogen bomb we have is 15 million tons of TNT. And they're saying it's
1,000 times greater.
1.5 trillion tons?
Yeah, so if they have
what the hell does a trillion tons look like?
Well, they said weapons, so it was plural. And here's what happened, okay? There was no question of victory or defeat, he said. They simply destroyed each other.
Wow.
There were few survivors, and the radiation level of the entire surface of the planet had been raised beyond human tolerance. This did not mean that all survivors were doomed to immediate death from the radiation, but it did mean the progressive deterioration of the mental and biological functions. This, together with the large number of mutations produced in succeeding generations, eventually brought their level of existence down almost to that of a beast. So would that bring evolution into play with us?
Bro, do you remember when Ra said that these groups destroy themselves, but then they choose to take on a lower third density form, which is close to animal-like, so that they can relearn. It's not that they're not humans; they're just a very primal form of human being, so that they can go back to a more primitive form of learning because they couldn't.
This
is interesting.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we always take all of these different extraterrestrial teachings and try to. I mean, that's kind of what we do.
You got to bridge them together.
Yeah, we try to bridge them together or see if there's
if they're pit against one another. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, he says this together with the large number of mutations produced in extraterrestrials eventually brought their level of existence down almost to that of a beast. So he said almost to that of a beast. So a beast would be second density. Yeah. So it'd be lower third density.
So it'd be lower third density.
Yeah.
That's exactly what Ra said. I think, did Ra even bring up, what was it? Lumeria? How do you spell it? Lumeria.
Are you ready? Listen to this. This is interesting.
Yeah, I want to know.
On a high plateau in what is now the country of Tibet, 6 of our aerial craft landed, and a council was held to determine what, if anything, could be done.
Bro, a council?
Mm-hmm. Not a committee.
Double
I, double T, double E, double M.
But remember Agartha?
Yes.
We did the episode on it. Was
that just released.
High in the Tibetan Plateau.
Yeah. See, this is where I love putting puzzle pieces together.
This is awfully interesting. So if I want, are they blue?
Yeah.
Or what color are these people's skin?
It was suggested that an attempt be made to reach another planet. The aircraft then in use were capable of traveling in space and had frequently been used to reach elevations of a few hundred miles above the Earth. No attempt, however, had yet been made to leap the gulf between the planets, and the crew members were far more certain that such an attempt would prove successful. The planet, which you now know as Mars, was then in conjunction with the Earth, and at that time, the surface conditions of temperature, atmosphere, water, etc., were much better suited for human survival than the conditions which your astronomers report to exist at the present time. So Mars was suitable for
life
then, 30,000 years ago.
Okay.
A vote was taken, and the members of the crews of the 4 of the craft elected to take the huge gamble in the hope of preserving thereby at least a portion of the culture of the race.
Isn't it amazing that even though they were so advanced, they still hadn't gone past a couple 100 miles? They didn't do travel between planets yet, but they're like, we can do it. We just haven't done it.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, we got to fucking roll the dice here. Even though they're intelligent, they're still taking risks.
Yes. Well, listen to this. The remaining crew members elected to remain on Earth. They believed that because of the elevation of the plateau on which they were gathered and the comparatively low level of the radiation which existed there, they could continue to live in this area without suffering complete physical or mental degeneration in themselves or their descendants. So these blue people
needed to escape the radiation, right? Are those ones that stayed here on the Earth?
Yeah.
Did they go underground?
No, well, listen, I can see the questions forming in your mind. So I'll explain that this race had achieved perfect equality of the sexes, and both were about equally represented in this council. Of the 4 craft which essayed the Great Leap, 3 arrived safely at their destination.
Oh, shit.
There's no record nor history as of the fate of the 4th. For many generations, the grim struggle for survival demanded the entire time and energy of the people. These were the dark ages of the new race, and we have comparatively little knowledge of this period.
Oh, wow. So they were so stuck on survival, it was pretty much just word of mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody recorded anything. And is this when they were on Mars?
No, this was...
These are the ones that chose to stay.
Yeah, they stood here.
It's got to be the Agarthian community.
Yes.
Because they say they live underground. And so consider this fact. There's high amounts of radiation. You don't want physical or mental deterioration. You would have to go underneath the bedrock to shield yourself from high levels of radiation.
Well, we're going to get into that.
Yeah, we will.
In the next episode.
In the next episode.